Hey guys, it's Miss Morris and happy Black History Month. If you guys didn't know, outside of being a teacher, I actually specialize in hair and makeup artistry. And so, with that being said, why not talk about just that? You may have heard of people like Madam C.J. Walker, who was the first self-made millionaire for Black hair care, or Marjorie Joyner, who was the first African American to get a patent for the hair wave machine. And these are influential Black people in history that have done something absolutely amazing. So, in light of talking about them and Black history, we're going to learn about 3 different protective braiding styles that you may see very often when you interact with those in the Black community. So, let's get started. Okay, so the first braid that we are going to learn is a 2-strand twist. With this one, you're going to separate a section of hair into 2 sides. You're going to have yarn, so just separate them equally into 2. You're going to twist and overlap the bottom one over the top, and you're going to continue to do that. Take the bottom one and overlap it over to the top, switching your hands as you go along. After a while, you'll start to get the hang of it, and you'll be able to twist it all the way to the bottom pretty quickly. But the mechanism is just taking one side and twisting it over top onto the other side and switching your hands as you go along. As long as you keep the yarn or hair separate and even, you'll be good. The next one that we're going to learn is the 3-strand braid. This one's a little more difficult. And so this one, you're going to want to separate the hair or yarn into 3 separate parts. You only have 2 hands and 3 parts, so this one takes a little more coordination. The key here is to take the outside part and bring it underneath, as you see I'm doing here. Taking the outside and bring it into the middle. And you keep that going. Make sure you take the outside one and bring it into the middle. Take the outside one and bring it into the middle. The key here is when you have 2 pieces of hair in one hand, that's the one you're taking the outside piece and bringing it into the middle. So the hand that has 2 strands, you take that outside one and bring it into the middle. And again, once you get the hang of it, you can start to go a little quicker and start to see how your hands move, and you can move them more freely. This braid can be done in many different ways, overhand, underhand, but today we're just going to learn how to do it underhand, and then you start to be able to braid at an even quicker pace. But just remember, when your hand has 2 strands in it, take that outside piece and drag it into the middle, and then change your hands over so that you could do it on the opposite side. And then once you get down to the bottom, you have a full 3-strand braid. Last but not least is what we call a fishtail. We're going to go back to the basics and separate the hair into 2, or yarn, into 2 even sections. And this is going to be a little different because you're actually taking a small piece of each section when you're doing this braid. So you keep it into 2 sections, and you take a small piece from one section and you bring it into the middle of the other section. So you take a small piece from the outside of one section and bring it into the middle of the other section. I'll repeat that once again. You are going to keep the strands into 2 even, take a small piece from the outside of one strand and bring it to the middle of the other strand. And you keep rotating from each side, left, right, until you get a nice fishtail. This typically will take longer, and you won't typically see this very often, but it can be used in very creative ways. Nice hairstyles, and if you were to do one big ponytail with a fishtail going down, it makes it look very elegant. And if you keep at it, by the time you know it, you'll have a lovely fishtail. Just making sure you keep the small sections, bringing it from the outside and rotating it into the inside of the opposite one. And there you have it. Woo! Congratulations on practicing or even learning something new today. 3 types of braids that you could do: a twist, a 3-strand braid, or a fishtail. All very creative, all pretty unique, and I hope that you have a good day.